Ladies and gentlemen, I am Golden Devin-Foxy remastered again. And before this video could begin, shortly, is that I want to say is my confidence. That I want to say in this question is my confidence. Is that, well, in this only time and ever that I will say is myself as a diehard fan for Seahawks of Seattle, is I just hope to say is that I myself am going to give the biggest confidence of all time is I hope in this year of 2026 that apparently that I am going to say is this that I'm rooting for the Seahawks and cheering for them on all the way to the very end of the playoffs, which I highly doubt, and will say that the Seahawks has finally made it this far enough to win in the Final Four, which is very damn impressive. Now, why do I say that? Well, because I give my hopes and very much likely confidence that the Seattle Seahawks will win the playoffs of 2026, which I know this is a big deal and this is a pretty bit interesting deal that I'm going to say is I'm giving my biggest confidence for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl at all, most likely every time. Now, in this very question, is why do I doubt the Seahawks will win the entire thing? Well, as long as they beat the Rams and knock them down, that's the greatest of all of time. That if they do that, that by the way, ladies and gentlemen, would be the greatest thing of all time that we'll ever witness in our very generation. That the Seahawks will beat the Rams and beat them down this time. And hopefully Seahawks will have the best chances of all and will defeat the Rams of LA, which I hope the Rams will lose to Seahawks once and for all, and it's time to knock them out of the park, which I know it's going to be the biggest knockout of all time, but Seahawks needs to keep themselves focused, strong, stay healthy every time, always very extra strong and healthy to knock out the entire Rams, which means that they probably will beat them somehow in the playoffs. And yes, it is still going to be yet again my confidence, by the way, of conference or whatever. Sorry about the word exactly. Meant to say confidence that I would want to be giving for the Seahawks, that I give them amounts of the best possibilities to rank up to beat down the Rams because it's time for them to go. I mean, at this point, I definitely want them to leave and want them eliminated as possible as they can. So hopefully, at the end of the time, Seahawks better win this because I'm counting on the Seahawks to win this in the very final end in the Super Bowl because it's time for the Seahawks to rise and it's time for them to stay arised and will definitely beat the Rams for good. And it'll be one final nail in the coffin to knock out the Rams and it will be defeat time. And yes, the Rams will be defeated by the Seahawks once and for all. And I hope the Seahawks have the strongest, and I mean the huge, strongest of all time winningness, which I know I might still be a bit too hard, but all I'm saying is that this is their final big chance that I'm giving my chances and confidence for the Seahawks to stay up and keep their chins up and will definitely beat the Rams for good. And will send them to Cancun and eliminate them for good. So yeah, that's why I want the Seahawks to beat them for good and win this once and for all for a lifetime to finally beat them for good. And speaking of for good, well, on the other side, I don't probably seem to have too many enemies on the left exactly of the AFC, which I'm just referring to as just AFC, that I'm referring to as sides of left and right of NFL logic that I'm only talking about. Just logic, and that's all. And I gotta say, I have no hate on that other side either, but let me just say this that my confidence will definitely be is something pretty interesting to talk about is like seeing is the Patriots of England taking on Denver of Broncos, which I'll be honest here by the way, and a full amount of a turn of honesty is that I hope again that we'll finally get to see a face-off match for the first time ever in the championships of the finals, it will be the Seahawks facing against head to head is the Broncos, which I know this is going to be an all interesting surprise that we're all going to see to witness for the very only time ever, as I hope Seahawks will definitely beat the Broncos as well if they can, which the only teams I want to see who are out is the Patriots because it's too complete obvious, and then of course the Rams as well. So it means two teams will be snacked and will be knocked out exactly and will be smacked out of here exactly. Which of course, like I said again, I know Patriots got that pretty far again, but at this very point again, I want to see the Broncos taking this chance and winning against the Patriots, which means it's another interesting strong advantage for them to probably beat the Patriots at that time and have them out, which again, it still considers England. That's all again it is. For those who get a little confused by saying like, oh, who are the Patriots? Well, you can see from the word is called NE refers to New England. Yes, that refers to those words anyway. And once Rams or Patriots are defeated, it will be the greatest time ever to see the Seahawks finally squaring up against the Broncos, which this time it's time for the Seahawks to beat the Broncos. And yes, I know it's going to be another avenging a little bit for the Texans, by the way, but this time it's going to have to be for the Seahawks will avenge the Texans. Even though they did lost in week 9, but at this point, I wanted to see how Seahawks are going to beat the Broncos in a very all lightly and interesting match between Seattle and Denver for a good face-off, which in fact, I might take a look at this for 1 second, which I know everybody, like I said, are predicting the very only closest ones to say is that they're pretty much saying is like, oh, it's going to be the Broncos and Seahawks that they're taking on each other for that match. Which, yes, by the way, that is definitely yet correct. By the way, that is, by the way, in a full meta standard, correct. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look on the overview, which yet again, I'm going to go ahead and see what this says. So here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So let's see. Has the Seahawks faced the Broncos in the playoffs before? In 2026. Here we go. Let's go ahead and do that, shall we? Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, damn! Whoa, damn! Oh, man! Holy damn, that is crazy! Okay, I gotta really take a look at this for a minute. Like, holy crap. Like, okay, give me a minute, folks. Give me a minute. Let me read this. So, in this overview that it tells me on this overview that it says, yes, the Seahawks and Broncos have faced each other twice in the Super Bowl. In the playoffs. Not Super Bowl. I meant saying that. Damn it. Meant to say this one word again. Is meant to say is twice in the playoffs. There we go. There we go. So it tells me otherwise that they face each other in the playoffs twice. That's crazy and that's cool. With Seattle winning both matchups, their most improvement meeting was a 43-8 the Seahawks' victory in the Super Bowl XLVIII on February 2nd of 2014. Holy damn, let's go. Man, that is cool. Like, really damn cool. Nice. Awesome. Really awesome. They also met in the AFC wildcard game on December 4th, 1983. Oh, wow. That is crazy. Oh boy, isn't that interesting? Like, it brings me a lot of things of interesting details that I never knew of. Fair. Which Seattle won 31-7. Nice. I love that. Like, man, that is crazy, bro. I love it. All right, says then the key details regarding their postseason history. So let's go ahead and see what this says. So it says Super Bowl XLVII 2014, the Seahawks defeated the Broncos by 43-8. Oh, hell damn. Man, I can't believe how interesting that is, but Jesus, bro, that's interesting. And also it says in the 1983 AFC wildcard, the Seahawks defeated the Broncos by 31-7. All right, that I can get around with. That's awesome. Damn, who knew Seahawks were actually super strong? Let's go. Man, let's go for the Hawks. Man, that's cool. And it says right here in the context, it says rivalry contacts. The teams were AFC West divisional rivals from 1987 to 2001 before Seattle moved to the NFC. Wow. Based by based. Man, I guess we're gonna finally get another one. Like, oh my god, this is going to be like the best match I would ever seen. Like, bro, we're actually going to see this right here and right now. Even though it is still 2026, that I'm going to say this possibly, that, oh yes, I bet for almost likely a big margin percent, it totally would be the Broncos versus Seahawks again. That I would love to see this happening already. Which, even though I don't want Patriots to get up there, which is going to be a little tricky anyways, so I decided I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll go for the Broncos since I know this is going to be a tricky question to kind of get around with. But I know again it's going to be a little possible. So hey, I guess we gotta have to probably let this be passing by the way. It'll definitely be Broncos versus Seahawks because I mean, think about this. It's a smart strategy move that anybody would have used. It's like, let's go with Denver and Seattle to see how that playoff will go down with in history. Which I'm like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Literally the best ways I will see. So hopefully by the end of the day, I hope Seahawks will finally beat the Broncos. Even though this is going to be one interesting face-off I'll ever see in 2026. So yeah, good game as always, and good game as every time. So hopefully Seahawks will get rid of the Rams first and will eliminate them anyway. Second, I hope the Broncos will beat the Patriots and also eliminate them too. Since we're all predicting the same question, it will be the Broncos and Seahawks yet again to head in 2026's 2026 match of the championships. So there you go. And of the course of the Super Bowl. So that being said again, I hope that you guys enjoy this interesting conversation of having a bit of confidence, that I'm giving my confidence for the Seahawks not to lose this, and I hope they will win as possible as they can. So that being said alone, I hope Sam Donald will make it through the end and the end of the Super Bowl for the greatest time ever. Is that we'll see what happens coming around, and we'll see where this goes. And basically, I hope the Seahawks will pull it off and will win this for good and finally give us the greatest news for finally getting rid of the Rams. So that would be a good thing, and that would be the best thing possible. So hopefully, everyone, let's root for the Seahawks together and let's beat them. And I hope to say, let's say this again. We hopefully will say, come on, everyone. Let's root for the Seahawks and beat the Rams for good. And as from the other side, I think hopefully somewhere on the other side that Broncos could easily beat the Patriots by an easy win. But if not, it's not going to look great. But anyway, that being said, I'm Golden Devin-Foxy Remastered again. And this is just my answer and my confidence that I'm wanting to give for the Seahawks for the greatest wins of yet of all time. So that being said, of here and right now of 2026's finals and playoffs anyway, and of course the final four and yet to be the final two in the playoffs of the Super Bowl. Anyway, that being said, we'll see you next time. As yet as always, signing out. And let's go Seahawks. Come on, let's go. Anyway, that being said, see you later. In the next video. Bye bye, everyone, and sign off.